Esa primera parte fue más aburrida que una ostra. That first half was like watching paint dry. Yeah, vikingos, it was pretty hard to swallow. Totally forgettable. Bar a couple of sparks from Arda, salvo un par de chispazos de Arda. Por cierto, he utilizado una palabra que no sé si conocíais, para decir excepto. Bar. Sí, bar. Existe en inglés esa palabra para decir salvo. Como nuestro bar. Vamos, el sitio donde todos nos tendríamos que haber ido instead of watching that dreadful first half. Esa penosa primera parte. Pero chicos, al final, in the end, performances can improve. Results can't. We can play better for sure, but we got 3 points. And on the other hand, don't forget the context. No Vini, no Jude, no Rodrygo, a kid from the academy at right back, a Wade at Mestalla, never the friendliest love nest for Real Madrid. No precisamente el nidito de amor para el Real Madrid. And sadly, a ground tied in recent years to some very ugly episodes in our league. Muy buenas a todos, gente buena gente, football geeks, frikis del fútbol, football geeks, and welcome to a new episode of Inglés para Vikingos. So another boring sleep fest of a game. Otro auténtico sopor. Another boring sleep fest of a game. Typical game where Vini is missing, we aren't featuring him, no le estamos poniendo en el 11 inicial, but the game is crying out for him, screaming for him. And I also keep asking myself, why do we move players away from their natural spots? Arda, Gonzalo, stuck out wide out, glued to the touchline, far from where they really can hurt teams. And what about Kylian's first touch today? Pretty rough. Nowhere near Benzema in that department, ni por asomo ese que tenía Benzema en ese aspecto. Fijaos que la palabra department a veces también la podemos usar para decir aspecto o sentido. I can still remember and miss a lot how Benzema used to link up, cómo solía combinarse, how he linked up with everyone. A real team player who made the whole side look much better. Y por otro lado, on another note, it was a shocker to see the academy kid, Jimenez, in the starting 11, ahead of Carvajal or Trent, or even Valverde in such a rough game for us. And to be honest, that says a lot about our coach's courage. Some people love calling him Florentino's messenger, but I don't buy it. Pero yo no se lo compro, I don't buy it. I really don't think the president tells him who has to play. Did the lad Jimenez drop a masterclass? No, of course. It's not like the kid had a standout game, but for me he did his job perfectly. Solid, serious, no fear. In fact, one of the 2 real chances in the first half fell to him. He burst down the right, se internó por la derecha, and was very close to scoring. Big stage, un gran escenario, a big stage, big responsibility, and the academy kid didn't hide, y el chaval no se escondió. So first half, a couple of good looks, un par de buenas opciones, one for Kylian, another one for David Jimenez, against a team sitting deep, muy echado atrás. They were very compact and waiting to break, y listos para salir al contragolpe, ready to break. And that was pretty much the story. Second half, same movie at the start, flat, slow, predictable, like everyone knew the script before kickoff. Guys, until Carreras pulled the rabbit out of the hat, se sacó un conejo de la chistera. He picked it up on the left, a little step over, una pequeña bicicleta, a little step over, then took on 3 players. It is true that he stumbled his way through with the ball. Es verdad que se llevó un poco el balón a trompicones. He stumbled his way through with the ball, but he still managed to squeeze off a shot past the goalkeeper, maybe even with a nutmeg. Creo que con callito incluido en el disparo. And believe me, didn't even matter if it wasn't purpose. It was a great goal. And again, folks, it came from individual magic, not collective play. Funny thing is, against Benfica, he looked very shaky. Muy frágil, muy dubitativo, la verdad, shaky. And even paid for it by getting benched in the following game versus Rayo. But in this game, he looked very solid at the back and decisive going forward. For me, man of the match. He unlocked the game that was going nowhere. So till the goal, folks, we just couldn't crack their block. It was just like trying to open a tin with a spoon, como abrir una lata con una cuchara. Painful, slow, and going nowhere. We miss Vini a lot. Even when he's not at his best, he brings chaos and surprise. Without that flash from Carreras, I'm not sure we would have scored at all. Once we went ahead, Valencia finally had to come out and play. And all of a sudden, spaces everywhere. Like someone opening the windows after hours in a locked room. Before that, they were comfy, parked deep, asentados y bien cómodos atrás, waiting for us to mess up. On the flanks in this game, por las bandas, on the flanks we looked blunt, inofensivos, blunt. Gonzalo stayed glued to the touchline, estuvo muy pegado a las bandas. When you want him where the real damage is, through the middle. Kylian kept drifting inside, basically playing as a striker. And without Vini, you expect him to hit that left channel, but he never really got going. To me, it was like owning a sports car and just driving it round the corner to the bakery. There are still a few tweaks we need if we want to run the big boys, si queremos torear en las grandes plazas. But hey, 3 points in the bag, and again, that's what it counts. By the way, it was great to see Alexander Trent back out there. We haven't had many minutes from him, but even in his short run, you could see little quality reminders. Esos pequeños detallitos de calidad. Those little quality reminders of the Liverpool version. Sometimes some players need 5 touches to set themselves. Trent just looks up and bang. The ball lands 40 meters away on a team's made foot. Those switches of play are pure candy. Son una pura delicatessen. They are pure candy. You'd happily pay your ticket just to watch him hit 3 or 4 of them every game. And now, as always, let's dive into the axis of evil. The place that reeks of disgusting and systemic corruption. Apesta a asquerosa corrupción sistémica. Not my words, folks, but a judge's words. Written black on white in a preliminary findings report, en su informe preliminar del caso. Welcome to the Farsa Negrera League, where a club paid for more than 2 decades, got caught red-handed, les pillaron infraganti, and not only walked away unscathed, sin castigo, without punishment, but they just carried on playing, enjoying pretty much the same privileges as they used to. So today I'm only bringing you one play. The one that sums up the double standards teams deal with. Una en la que se ve la doble vara de medir entre unos y otros en esta liga. And especially as in this rig, en esta amañada, in this rig, nauseating league run by Tebas. In this picture, Lewandowski is clearly offside, but he doesn't interfere with Rashford's shot. The ball then rebounds off a defender, Lewandowski reacts and scores. For me, it stands. El gol debe subir al marcador. It stands. I've got no issue with that goal being given. So what's the point? ¿Qué es lo que quiero decir? Simple. We've had goals ruled out for the exact same thing, or even for a situation far less debatable. And I'm sure you, just like me, can think of a few right now. That's how sad it is. Y ya estamos en el check de pronunciación de hoy, chicos. Hoy os quiero mostrar la diferencia de sonido entre las palabras que terminan en OUGH y OUGHT. In today's pronunciation check, I want to share the difference between these two sounds in English. Words that end in OUGH are usually pronounced with an F sound at the end. Words that end in OUGHT are pronounced with a long O sound plus a clear T. For example, rough, tough, enough, and now with the long OT sound. Fought, caught, thought. Ah, y por cierto, ese símbolo que podéis ver como una tiendecita de campaña hacia abajo en la transcripción fonética suena como una A muy corta y relajada en español. Yo la llamo una A vaga. Ah, y en este caso luego ya le añadís esa especie de sonido F al final. Cough. Por otro lado, ya sabéis que el inglés es a veces muy traicionero, very treacherous, y de repente nos encontramos con palabras con esa misma terminación que se pronuncian de forma diferente con el sonido AU, como en to plow del verbo arar, o se pronuncian con el sonido OU, como en el adverbio though, although. Así que en general la regla que suele funcionar aquí, ojo que digo que suele. Si las palabras son cortitas o palabras muy comunes que implican dificultad, esfuerzo o exceso, iríamos con el sonido ese de la F, como vimos al principio, con rough, cough, tough, enough. Y otras ya no tan comunes como plow, arar, o los adverbios though o although se pronuncian como O. And today my pick of the day goes for Dani Carvajal. Lads, this is happening. Our captain is starting to feel the cold from the bench, la frialdad del banquillo. That cold after coming back from that serious knee ligament injury. But here's the cold truth as well. Every great Real Madrid legend goes through this at some point in their careers. There comes a day when it doesn't matter how many Champions Leagues you've lifted, even if you have more European titles than the entire shady club that paid 8.4 million to the refereeing system. Your role begins to change. Minutes drop, juegas menos minutos ya, responsibilities shift, and sooner or later you have to face it. Otherwise, you risk becoming a liability for the club. Una carga para el club, a liability. I just hope our captain Carvajal handles this transition the right way, from being the undisputed starter, un titular indiscutible, to helping the team whenever he's called upon. If he manages that well, one day we'll give him the farewell he truly deserves. Full honors, full respect. So my beloved Vikingos, in a nutshell, big win on the road at Mestalla. Never a walk in the park, never an easy peasy lemon squeezy game, especially with some of our top stars missing. But we handled the heats and walked away with a solid win, 0-2. We knew how to survive the storm and waited for the right punch. And when the door finally opened, we stepped through it. Kylian slammed it shut at the death. Ice in the veins, clinical. Game over. Job done. That's a proper title race behavior. 3 points and a clean sheet. La portería a cero. We keep marching on, and next stop, Real Sociedad at the Bernabeu. So a big hug to all of you, and see you in the next one.